Okay, so we're here with Trowe of Replay Games and with Lowe, also of Replay Games, formerly Sierra Games, whom you might know from Leisure Suit Larry, and we're talking a bit about what's going on. So you just released Leisure Suit Larry Reloaded. Maybe you can tell us a bit about how this all came along, how this project got started.
Okay. It got started about 13 years ago, in 2000, when I started consulting for developers and publishers in the mobile space. And I've been trying to acquire the rights to the games that I started beta testing when I was 12 years old, all through junior high, high school, and college. And then I went to work for Sierra after college. So I tried to acquire the rights to either King's Quest, Space Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, any of those, any of the great Sierra games that we all know and love. But since Sierra was sold or taken over or bought by so many different, I think 7 different times, all the rights kept transferring. So finally, back in 2011, I found out that Activision had held the rights to all the Sierra properties, with the exception of Leisure Suit Larry. And that Leisure Suit Larry was owned by Codemasters. And I got really happy, because I happened to work with the CEO of Codemasters when he used to be head of publishing for Acclaim for Europe, Rod Cousins. And we worked together for 5 years. And I licensed his titles across to South Korea. So I approached Al and I said, if I can get the rights to Leisure Suit Larry, can we put the group back together and can we remake it? And Al said, sure, I'll go for that.
So how hard was it to get you in the boat? How hard was it to convince you to take part?
It was easy once I realized that he could actually produce. At first it was, oh sure, yeah, if you can do that. But then he did it, and so it was, oh, well, sure, if he can do it, I know that we can do it. Our part of it's easy, but obtaining the rights and the money was the difficult parts of the project.
So how did you, when did you get the idea to use Kickstarter as your platform?
We both got it at the same time.
We went to a show in Las Vegas, and
we were invited to the show by Jeff Keighley, who runs game trailers on the Spike TV network in the United States. And he said, are you guys going to be at DICE? And I said, we weren't planning on it. Why? He said, well, I wanted to put you guys on TV and talk about how you guys are bringing back Leisure Suit Larry. And I said, oh, we're going to be there. So we went. Go ahead, take over.
Well, we went to this show, and we walked into the lobby of the show, and there was Tim Schafer. 8 hours earlier, he had posted his Kickstarter campaign and had earned all the money within a few hours and had doubled that morning. And while we said hello and hugged and hadn't seen each other in a long time and chatted a little bit for 5 minutes, he had made $8,000 in that 5 minutes. And he said that you should be doing a Kickstarter. And I turned to Paul and I said, you should be doing a Kickstarter. And that's how it started. We literally worked on it that afternoon, and within a month or so, we
it was mid-February,
yeah.
And we launched April 2nd.
Yeah.
And looking from now, was it the right decision to go Kickstarter?
No, it was a horrible error.
Yeah.
Of course it was. Yeah, it was a great time. It confirmed in our minds, first of all, that we had thousands of fans out there that were willing to support us and help us make a new game. And it also gave us a lot of feedback as to what kind of game to do and how to do it. We knew that we wanted to redo Leisure Suit Larry 1, the original game, but we wanted to be able to do more than that, to add to it, to make it more exciting, to make it more complex, to make it more difficult, and to increase the number of lines of audio, the amount of responses that you get, and all the other stuff. So it was a great opportunity for us.
Okay, so how long have you been out of the game industry before that?
I took a short vacation for a few thousand weeks. My last game was in 1998, so 15 years.
And you've been completely out.
I was completely out. I was retired and happily so.
Have you been playing games in private?
You know, I do play games, but I don't play adventure games anymore. It's funny.
What adventure games are there?
I play other games, but
I got it playing Candy Crush today.
and other things too. But I kept waiting for a game to come out that I would laugh at, and it's been a long wait. This is it, Leisure Suit Larry Reloaded.
Why the decision to remake the first game instead of going for a new game?
Because those were the rights that we obtained.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have the rights to the intellectual property to make a new game, but rather to redo the games that were made already.
Are there plans to change this, to maybe get the rights to do a really new game?
Codemasters was skeptical that we could actually pull off, funding the game and making, a remake of a remake. So I think now that they're pleasantly surprised and happy, so we've already. I have to be careful about what I say because we haven't announced anything yet. But aside from Leisure Suit Larry Poker, which will come out in Q4, but we're very happy with our relationship with Codemasters.
So Leisure Suit Larry Poker will be out this year.
Yes.
And can you say a bit about the features of the game? Is it just a pure poker game, or is it?
It's free-to-play poker, it's
on mobile, iOS and Android.
Yeah, and it's got the things that make Larry fun will be in there in addition to a poker game.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you take Zynga Poker and you put it in the Leisure Suit Larry universe, that's what you have.
There you go.
So it's more than just poker.
How does it feel to be back in the industry, to be back at shows like this?
It's deja vu. It's amazing how much the industry has changed over the years.
In what way?
Well, in sheer numbers, not only numbers of games that are out, the numbers of people that are at the show, the number of players that play games today, and the number of dollars that are in the industry now. We never dreamed of titles that would come out the gate at 1 million copies and be downloadable instantly and that kind of stuff. So it's been really exciting.
Yeah, we come from the era where you need a 8 or 10 5.25 inch floppy disks, and now we're downloading 500 megabyte Leisure Suit Larry games on a cellular connection. That's just mind blowing.
Yeah, the technology changed a lot.
It has, and we're just at the tip of the iceberg in terms of mobile.
I know there were discussions about other old Sierra licenses. The Replay game might do something with this.
No.
That's true. There were discussions.
Well, there were discussions, but
he's right.
They didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he's right.
but nothing came out of it.
We had discussions.
Okay, that's all.
Activision's not willing to license them out.
Or hasn't been.
Well, they licensed them to Telltale.
Yeah.
And we had a verbal agreement with Telltale that since they had such a huge hit on their hands with The Walking Dead and Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, that we would develop and publish those titles in conjunction with Telltale. But then when Activision said, if you, Telltale, are not going to develop and publish these titles, the rights are going to revert to us because you're not allowed to assign the contract to anybody else. So the rights reverted back to Activision, and we were cut out of it.
And now they're in a dark hole.
Yeah, there were this King's Quest project, I think, at Telltale.
But they were all of them. King's
they
Quest,
had all
Police
of them.
Quest, Quest for Glory, all the Quest games.
Yeah. But the Space Quest guys did a Kickstarter, but they obviously do not have the license, right?
That's
No,
correct.
they don't have a license.
It's a space adventure.
Yeah.
Space venture.
Space
Yeah.
Adventure.
Do you have still contact with old Lucas, with old Sierra? Sorry. Colleagues?
And some of LucasArts
Yeah,
people
you
too.
mentioned
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we stay in touch. In fact, I exchanged emails with Ken Williams this morning. So.
Our whole company is ex-Sierra vets.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I once did a huge interview with Ken Williams.
Yeah.
That was great. I still had a question. Yeah, the Kickstarter. Coming back to Kickstarter. You had this talk yesterday, but our readers weren't there, so maybe you could give a very quick roundup what you learned from the Kickstarter experience from your point of view.
We learned that it's not easy.
Yeah.
We learned that it's much more difficult than it appears, and that if you expect to post something on Kickstarter and the money will run in, you will be sadly mistaken. Yeah, you will be a sad person.
We also learned that transparency is the key to success. The more transparent you are with your backers, who are essentially, they're almost investors. They're not investors because they don't get any equity in the company or the game. They get rewards, so it's a donation and reward relationship.
But they think they're investors.
Well,
and we treated them.
So the point
and
being,
we treated them as well.
Yes, we treated them we listened to great feedback. We did a lot of modification to the game because they had some great suggestions. And
we included a lot of them in the game.
And there were reward tiers that included backers in the game. And then also we just kept them informed as much as we possibly could. We did an update at least every 2 weeks during the production cycle. And sometimes when we had a big announcement, we would do it immediately to let them know first before the news hit the PR wire.
Yeah.
Now the game is out for a few weeks, I think.
Well, actually, the PC, Mac, and Linux game shipped on June 27th. Yeah. iOS shipped on July 27th, and Android shipped 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And of course, all the reviews are in now. And
no, there's still reviews coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
How were the responses? What did you learn from the feedback you got now that the game is out?
We learned that a lot of reviewers don't understand adventure games.
Or don't like them.
Or don't like them.
Yeah, the GameSpot guy in his review said, I don't really like adventure games.
But I'm going to review this anyway.
I was told to write a review of this game, so I'm going to do it. And then gave us a horrible score.
Yeah.
You know? And it's probably some kid who's 21 years old making minimum wage in San Francisco.
Yeah, whatever.
That's not good.
But it's...
but the users
the user feedback has been powerful.
The Metacritic user scores on both mobile and personal computers, it's 8.8 for PC and Mac and Linux, and for iOS it's 9.7 or something. Extremely 9 point something.
Yeah, extremely high. And really the only bad reviews or bad comments that we've had on people online were it wouldn't play on my machine. I couldn't download it because my Android's not new enough, or something like that. But very few people who played the game didn't give it 5 stars.
But still, I mean, you haven't announced your next game, but except poker.
We have announced our next game. Our next game is
yes.
Leisure Suit Larry Poker.
Yeah.
Yes, but
and past that, we're not going to tell you.
We have a corporate plan, we have a product plan,
yes.
but we don't discuss that publicly.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
assuming your game after that will be an adventure again.
Why would you assume?
We
that?
don't assume.
We
anything.
didn't tell you that.
With Leisure Suit Larry, the world is infinite. We're working on a TV cartoon. We're working on a movie. We're working on a poker game.
The racing simulator.
There's merchandise. I mean, it's not just what you remember from when you were a kid. Adventure games. We've taken Leisure Suit Larry and we're bringing him out to the entire world. Not just the kids who want a dirty talking, double entendre speaking little guy.
Okay, then I think even not knowing what your next game after poker will be, I wish you good luck with it.
Thank you.
Well, wish us luck with poker.
I wish you good luck with the poker game as well. Of course. And thank you very much for the interview.
You're welcome.
Jan, thank you.
Thank you for your support all over the years, and thanks to all your viewers for sticking with us all these years.
Yes, we have a lot of guys interested in those licenses.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. See you next time.